Okay, this is a video about the insides of the pianola. I've had several people on YouTube ask a little bit of information on how the pianola works, and so I thought I'd put together this little video, try and give you a little more information, give you a better idea of what goes on inside here. I call it a trip through the interior. I'm going to start basically with the instrument panel control section. The top is removed, the front panel and the rear panel have been removed. And I'm going to start with the tracker bar. Now the tracker bar is this brass bar here. There are 65 holes, including 2 on each end, so you got 67 holes. And each one of those corresponds to one bellow, which is connected by one hose on either side. And you'll see some of the hoses over here. And these are little individual hammers. The tracker bar is divided in half. You'll see a little etching here in the center, which kind of differentiates between the bass notes here and the treble notes here. Now each of those are independently controlled by 2 of these levers here, and what these do is these regulate the loudness control on the rolls. The rolls have dots on them, mostly they're green, sometimes they're black or brown, and that regulates basically you follow this on a smaller scale from the pianissimo to the mezzo pianissimo to the mezzo forte to the forte loudness, and you'll see those indicators on the rolls themselves. Now when you slide these levers, they actually go down to this lower bellows here, which is to the left of the pedal. This is basically inside there's a series of valves for the upper and lower half notes, and they have sort of a slotted opening which is wider at one end and narrow at the other, and the airflow that is drawn from the major bellows, which is back here, okay, sucks the air out of this bellows, which causes this part of the bellows here, get the light here, to go to come up here and to suck in, and that basically in that position it's playing softer. When it's in an open position it's playing louder, and by regulating these slide valves here, and you'll see how that's done here, you'll see how it goes inside there and opens the air supply to that bellows. And then from this bellows there's actually 2 chambers that go up here. This is actually hollow, and one half goes up to the lower half notes, which is on this side. There's a channel up here, okay, and then the other half runs actually along this wooden section here, which is actually hollowed out and goes to the upper channels on the upper notes here. And so then what you have is the means of regulating the suction of air, because the air is actually sucked from these bellows, okay, down through these cavities, and each of these valves here actually has 2 valves on, or these bellows has 2 valves on it where the air is actually drawn in. So this regulates the airflow. These 2 hoses here happen to work with the Themenis feature. Now the Themenis feature is explained up here. I'll put this back up here. Okay, this little switch here turns it on and off. It says, well, it's in German, it says on and off. And that opens and closes this valve here. Okay, and so that air is drawn through suction as well. And this little device is called a cheek box, and this is actually the valve. There's 2 valves in here, a lower and an upper valve for the different sides of the tracking bar. And depending on whether they're opened or not, it kind of overrides the loudness control down here and makes those particular notes loud, and those notes are controlled by these 2 hoses, which go to the ends of each of these on the tracker bar. And when there's a note that corresponds here with the hole opening here, it actually allows that note to get all the airflow suction it can, so it makes it louder, which is used for enhancing the melody and drowning out kind of the harmony notes. And then those 2 hoses go down here to the bellows, to those respective valves. This is simply the sprocket for the roll, and it's pressure held by a spring, which kind of keeps it pushed against the other side over here. And this is the take-up roll here. The take-up roll is controlled, and the rewind roller is controlled by this lever here on the side. In this mode here, this is the play mode, and when you press on the pedal, you can see it actually turns the device. You can see it turning here. I'm kind of just pumping with one bellow right now, or one foot. Okay, and then when you do it the other way, this is the reverse mode, and when you pump on that, it actually operates the upper valve spindle, which turns the roll and rewinds it. And what this valve also does here is it also shuts off the airflow to this bellow here, which allows a concentrated amount of airflow to go to the tempo bellow, which is on this side, to give more air power to the motor, which is up here. And it gives a little more power so it can go faster. And it also prevents the notes from playing in reverse, which you don't want. And when it's closed, of course, it opens these valves here to allow the air pressure to get to the notes. Now this here is simply just the pedal, okay, which activates the pedal feature on the piano itself. It's just a very simple lever here, as you can see, moves it up and down like that, which pushes onto the pedal onto the piano, and you just line it up and pushes it down. Over here we have the tempo indicator, and some of the rolls use numbers here. You have a number scale from 10 to 130, and it tells you specifically on the roll when to set the speed. Sometimes it's once, sometimes it's several times. Or the metro style notes are denoted by a red line, which you use with this metro style pointer. It says metro style patented on here, which you can adjust. And while you're playing, you just slide this back and forth, and you can actually follow and regulate the speed variably rather than at a constant speed. Then you've got this, which is the tracking adjustment for the notes. Basically all it does is it moves the lever on the side, which pushes in on the butt of the take-up spool here, and as you can see, if I turn it, it'll push it out like that, and then bring it back in with the spring pushing on the other end. And so that's how you keep it aligned. These are the pedals. These basically just push down, and you can fold them up as well if you want to store it. And then there's two doors on the side. And again, this again is the tempo regulator, which when you move the tempo indicator here, you can see it, get this over there, slides it back and forth inside the bellows like that. And there's a large slotted valve in there that's wider at one end and narrow at the other, which regulates the airflow. Again, this is the motor. Very simple design. Now we go around to the back, and you'll see all the different bellows for each of the keys right over here. And there's 4 rows of them, from the very higher end notes all the way down to the bottom. And they basically go up and down like this, and as they go up and down, they push on a respective key. And when you have to replace this, you have to undo every one of these leather nuts, and that is a very tedious job. And when I restored this, I had to take all this apart, and it was a lot of work. And there were gaskets here and gaskets here and gaskets here and here. Quite achievement to do that. The motor itself, okay, is down here, and as you'll see, I replaced these as well. There's 2 separate bellow motors. Now these are connected directly to the back of the pedals, where there's metal brackets that push and open and close these. And then these 2 feed into the one main bellows here, which goes in and out. And when you push and pull, it sucks the air out of this hose here, and then the hose at the other end for the tempo. And that's basically where the main air ports are drawn from the unit itself. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you have the hammers up here, and it's on wheels, so it can roll around, so you can line it up. And then there's a crank on the side, so you can raise and lower the wheels on each side. And fortunately we have that. I don't know where you would find one if you didn't. So, what I could do a quick perhaps in the next video I'll show playing a roll without it hooked to the piano, and you can basically just watch the bellows go up and down and see how they work. Okay? Thank you very much.